Now, I'm sure a lot of you have had beef rump steaks, and it comes from the rump cap. Now, this is a delightful, versatile piece of beef. And yes, you can cut the steaks off, but you can also serve it whole as a roast. And that's what I'm going to be making for you today, serving it with a delicious capsicum sauce. Now, this is super prized in South America, and they love to cook this for a big family or a party, and that's what I'm going to be cooking it as. This is a 2-kilogram piece of meat, so it's going to feed at least 8 people. And the trick is to render this gorgeous piece of fat off first before we roast it in the oven. So do keep this cap on, because this is going to keep the meat super moist and juicy as it cooks in the oven. So I like to just score the fat, and this is just going to help render it down, and just lightly with a sharp knife, score it one way, turn the board, and we'll score the other way, just so we've got triangles. Fantastic. Now, it is quite fatty on the top there, so you don't need too much oil. It's just to ensure it doesn't stick in the pan, so a little drizzle of oil, a good amount of salt to season it and also form that crust. We'll turn it over and just have a look at the marbling in this gorgeous piece of rump cap. It is just the best. Another good seasoning of salt and a drizzle of oil. No flavours at this stage. I just want the pure, simple flavour of that beef because it's such a beautiful cut. Now, I've preheated a pan. You can use a round one. I'm using a square one because it goes into the oven too. And fat side down. And we're going to seal this off. Now, you don't want your pan to be really, really hot. You want it to be on that medium heat so you get that sizzle and just allow that meat to slowly render that fat. I'm going to cook that for about 15 minutes on that fat side, turn it over, and then it goes into a hot oven at 190 degrees. Now, I have some roast capsicum in the oven, so I'll go and get those. And this is going to be for a delicious salsa to go with it. So these are piping hot at the moment. 2 roast capsicum and 2 shallots. Roast them off to really intensify the flavour. Then grab yourself a tea towel and just let them sit there for about 15 minutes to sweat. Then I'm going to peel them and thinly slice them for the salsa. This stunning piece of beef has come out of the oven and I have allowed it to rest. And now to finish off this little salsa. So we have those roasted French shallots, the capsicum, I've peeled them and I've sliced them. See all those juices that they're rendering? That is flavour, so leave that in there. We'll also add a pinch of salt, some pepper, and to give this a bit of zing and some freshness, red wine vinegar. You could also use some sherry vinegar and tarragon. Tarragon and beef are best mates. They work so well together. Think of that classic steak béarnaise, but this is a much lighter sauce, which I kind of like to change it up. If you can't find tarragon or you don't want that aniseed flavour, of course, you could just use parsley. Even some fresh thyme would be nice with this. Okay, give that a little mix. And to bring the whole thing together, some really good quality extra virgin olive oil. Just drizzle that in. Fresh and vibrant. All right, now to cut this stunning roast. We'll take that off its tray onto a board. And I wanted to show you this tip, but as you can see, the grain goes this way on this side of the cap, and then the grain goes that way on the side of the cap. So I'm going to slice this against the grain. Nice sharp knife, and I'm going to slice this, and I want to show you how perfect this is. Look how juicy and perfectly cooked. I'm going to cut a few little pieces and serve up a portion. And see how it's perfectly pink from the top all the way down? That's because we brought it out of the fridge so it comes to room temperature and we've allowed it to rest. So we'll grab a generous plate. We'll add a few slices straight on and we'll top it with this salsa. Just pop that on the side. I would also serve this with some roasted vegetables. Maybe some roast spuds would be just the perfect addition, or as is with a simple salad. I'll finish it off with a little extra salt and maybe some freshly cracked pepper. And that is a modern take on a gorgeous beef roast for Sunday, giving it that little lighter touch with that capsicum salsa.